Hi, this is Ranella Puyat, BSIT, and today I will be presenting my course project in Integrative Programming and Technology 1. For the topic 1 is Network Programming. The Network Programming Overview. It refers to the writing programs that execute across multiple devices or computers, in which the devices are all connected to each other using a network. Java makes networking applications simple due to the easy-to-use libraries. In general, applications that have components running on different machines are known as distributed applications. The Java.NET package of the J2SE APIs contain a collection of classes and interfaces that provide low-level communication details, allowing you to write the programs that focus on solving the problem at hand. The Java.NET package provides support to the two common network protocols, which are the TCP and the UDP. The TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol, which allows for reliable communication application. TCP is typically used over the Internet Protocol, which is referred to as TCP/IP, while the UDP, which stands for User Data Protocol, a connectionless protocol that allows the packets transmitted between application. There is no direct socket connection between the client and the server. That is the packet seemingly random order from different clients. The datagram sockets and packets. The datagram sockets. The server will be in an infinite loop accepting messages. Although there will be no direct socket connection to the client, we will be setting up a buffer, or for example, an array of bytes that will be used to receive incoming requests. Each message is sent as a packet. Each packet contains the data of the message, for example, the message itself, and the length of the message, which is the number of bytes, and the address of the sender as an init address, and the port of the sender. The UDP connections datagram packet and datagram socket are two main classes available in Java.NET package. UDP sockets are less complex and have lesser overheads in comparison to TCP. And each and every datagram packet object contains a data buffer and the address of the remote host to send the data to, and the port number of the remote agent, which is listening the datagram socket class. In order to enable the agent programs to talk to each other over UDP connection, the datagram created to ensure that they both communicate programs to a port on their local machines. The datagram packet. Class stuffs byte of data into UDP packets, which are known as datagrams. This class also enables us to unstuffy these datagram packets when we receive them at the receiver side. The datagram socket is sending and receiving point of data delivery. The datagram socket sends and receives the data in the form of datagrams by invoking the received methods on its datagram socket objects. The client and the server. So this is an illustration of a server and clients. So the server is an application that provides service to various clients who request a service. And then the client is an application that requests a service from the server. Some of the examples are the airline booking, who books flights for travelers and wish to travel, and the fast food ordering system that provides the orders of the clients who wish to eat, and the automated or ATM machine that serves the Clients who wish for the encashment of their cash, which are the clients are the cardholders, and reading files from the internet. A uniform resource locator or URL, according to Britannica, is an address of a resource on the internet or of a file stored locally. The resource can be any of file stored on a server, such as a web page and a text file, a graphics file, or an application program. A URL can be used to represent the location of web page or web-based application. A URL is really just a string that represents the name of a resource, which can be files, databases, applications, etc. And a resource name consists of a host, machine name, file name, port number, and other information. URL example. So this is an illustration of an example of a URL. URL resource name consists of, for example, the host name, the machine name where the resource lives, which is the blueprint, and HTTP www.ranellagrees.net. And then the port number, which is the green lettering, uh, in which to connect. And then the file name, which is the BSIT slash subject slash integrity programming dot htm, is the file name or the file's path name in the machine. So for the conclusion, in the network programming, the communication between the server and the client becomes more accessible and easier. The server can also become a client of a certain program, and those programs can communicate with each other with other programs that help the communication and service easier. Network programming is being a part of our daily lives. Both server and client have their own significance to us users. Without network, for the topic 2, data mapping and exchange. Data mapping. This is an example of a data mapping. Data mapping bridges the differences between two systems or data models, so that when data is moved from a resource, it is accurate and usable at the destination. It is crucial to the success of many data processes. One misstep in data mapping can ripple throughout your organization, leading to replicated errors and ultimately to inaccurate analysis. XML or Extensible Markup Language. XML, according to TechTarget, is used to describe data. The XML standard is a flexible way to create information formats and electronically share structured data via the public internet, as well as via corporate networks. It is a markup language based on a standard generalized markup language or SGML used for defining markup language. XML primary function to create formats for data that is used to encode information for documentation, database records, transactions, and many other types of data. This is also to provide a simple text-based format for representing structured information according to the World Wide Web Consortium or W3C. XML data uses may be used for creating different content types that are generated by building the similar types of content, including web, print, and mobile content that is based on the XML data. XML data is known as a self-describing or self-defining, meaning that the structure of the data is embedded with the data. Thus, when the data arrives, there is no need to reveal the structure to store the data. It is dynamically understood within the XML. The XML format can be used by any individual or group of individuals or companies that want to share information in a consistent way. Standards body for the web, including the following: underlying data formats for applications such as those in Microsoft Office, technical documentation, configuration options for application software, books, transactions, and invoices. XML enables sharing of structured information among the and between the following: the programs and people, and then the locally and across networks. How does the XML works? XML works by providing a predictable data format. XML is strict on formatting. If the formatting is off, programs that process or displays the encoded data will return an error. For an XML document to be considered well-formed, that is, conforming to XML syntax and able to be read and understood by an XML parser, it must be valid XML code. All XML documents consist of elements. An element acts as a container of data. The beginning and the end of an element are identified by opening and closing tags with other elements or plain data within. XML works by providing the properly formatted data that can be reliably processed by programs designed to handle XML inputs. For example, technical documentation may include a warning element similar to that following in a snippet of XML code. So the design of XML as set in 1.0 specifications are as follows. XML shall be straightforwardly usable over the internet. Number 2, XML shall support a wide variety of applications. XML shall be compatible with HTML. It shall be easy to write programs that process XML documents. The number of optional features in XML is to be kept to the absolute minimum, ideally 0. XML documents should be human legible and reasonably clear. The XML design should be prepared quickly. The design of XML shall be formal and concise. XML documents shall be easy to create. Terseness in XML markup is of minimal importance. So this is an example of an XML uh, XML code. So XML prologue or XML declaration specifies the version of XML being used, as well as the character encoding scheme. So we can see here that this XML is a version 1.0, encoding at UTF-8. And then the root element, which is the library, this element identifies the type of data contained in the file. And then the root of elements, for example, the book that define the different parts of XML documents. So the the root element books contain two other element which are the title and the author. Physical parts of XML technologies. XML declaration, the elements, the attributes, the document type declaration, the entities, processing instruction, comments, character data sections, XML namespaces. The five standards predefined XML entities are the end IT, the less than symbol, also known as an open angle bracket, is normally used in XML to indicating the start of an XML tag. This identity is used when open angle bracket is part of the content of XML file. And then the NGT, the greater than symbol, also known as close angle bracket, is normally used in XML to indicating the end of an XML tag. This entity is used when the close angle bracket is part of the content of the XML file. And the other one is the ASC2 ampersand symbol is reserved in XML for indicating the start of an XML entity. This entity is used when an ampersand occurs within the XML element. And the end quote or the ASCII double quote character is used in XML tags to identify the optional attribute values of the element. For example, an emphasis tag might include options of emphasizing some text such as bold, italic, or underline. This entity is used when a double quote character appears in the content of an XML element. And the end apos is a single quote character, also known as apostrophe, is used in XML element tags to the attributes of the element. For example, the emphasis tag might include um, options or emphasizing some text as bold, italic, or underline. This entity is used when a single quote or apostrophe appears in the contents of the XML. Conclusion: XML or Extensible Markup Language has a big role in data mapping. This helps to interpret the database schema that is loaded in the design windows easier. It will also make the table relationships easier to recognize. In addition, the XML design is easier to understand, readable, and simple for both humans and machines, and it serves as bridge or interpreter between the human and machine readability and understanding. And these are some of my references in this course project. Thank you so much.